Mic check.
Yeah,
Allie and I were on the wrong chat.
I figured.
I think Justin's sleeping.
To both.
Those other rivers are over. As you wish, Daddy Riverside.
All right. Justin's out of the gang.
Maybe we could call Dad and Dad could wake him up.
Maybe Dad could take his spot.
Ooh. Think he could figure it out?
Justin's grounded.
Maybe.
He can't be over. I bet you Chelsea turned off his alarm again.
Yeah.
This is
That
Chelsea's
Chelsea.
fault. Yo, what up?
What are you doing up so early?
We are recording
Early?
for the podcast.
That's a great question.
What show are we reviewing now?
The finale of The Last of Us. Did you watch it?
No, we haven't watched it yet. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
They all die.
Could you give us your opinion of the show so far?
It's not so bad.
All right.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's fine. Let me sum this up. It ain't bad. That's Scott talking. He stayed in the room with us last night, and now they're farting and pooping in that room.
Nice.
It's perfect for this.
Yeah.
Could you do us a favor? Could you go upstairs and wake Justin up? He's supposed to be on
They're in a hotel room.
15
he just
minutes
said.
ago. Oh, he's in a hotel
We're
room.
in a
Oh.
I'm surprised Dad thought it wasn't bad.
We did
Me
weird
too.
cousin shit together in the room last night. That was weird.
That's awesome. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll let you guys
Love
get
that.
to it then.
Go make each other some breakfast. Round out
All
the
right, love you.
experience. Love
Is
you
Mom at
guys.
home?
Honey, what do you think of it so far? Get Mom's opinion.
Oh, wow.
It's fun. I don't think it's total dog shit,
I don't think it's total dog shit.
but I never watched it.
All right, well,
You heard it here
I
first.
can't get over the last one when we talked about the fingernails near the face.
all right. I love you guys.
They're
Bye.
cash grabbers.
Love you. Bye.
All right, well,
What did you
Justin
just
might
say,
be out.
Chad?
With her gash grabbers.
Ugh, stop it. Should we just start and hope he joins us at some point?
I think AI could do it.
We should make an AI Justin.
Yeah, because this is his second oversleep.
I think it's like I think it's every time.
All right, well,
Is Justin good
Or
or
total dog shit.
dog shit?
It's going to be an easy edit.
do we know if they survived camping?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Morning. This is Allie calling from Total Dog Shit Productions, and I'm trying to reach somebody by the name of Justin. He had scheduled a meeting to film with us this morning, and we haven't seen him on set. So if you happen to come across him, if you could send him to Studio B, that would be amazing. Thanks. Love you.
All right. Well,
Do we need to do an actual intro? Chad?
Today on Total Dog Shit, we are going to discuss The Last of Us Season 2 finale. And we're going to try to find out, is it good or is it total dog shit?
Also, it's the last 2 episodes, not just the finale.
We're going to discuss the last 2 episodes of the Season 2 of The Last of Us. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. We should learn Simlish and do a whole intro in that.
like we don't already know it.
Yeah. All right. Soon.
Hey, hello, Bobby Teeny, but some like the wrong days, geeky body.
So, the second to the last episode opens with an emotional experience.
The flashback episode.
Chad doesn't remember it at all.
So
Did you see the
checked out.
eyes? He was searching for it in the sky.
Opens with an emotional sequence. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so let me remind you. The opening scene was baby Joel and baby Tommy. And I
Gotcha.
did think I thought that was a really well done scene. I was very invested for the first time in this season. And I thought it was a really nice picture to paint and help us understand Joel and his protective nature. And I also thought the dad's speech was really moving. And then when he went and touched him on the shoulder, I was fully invested, fully emotionally involved at that point.
Yeah, I didn't mind this flashback. It was the flashback episode, so it flashed all the way back. And this is like most
Flashback.
of the full-on flashbacks like this that go that far were not in the game.
But do you ever think about how when Chad edited the episode with the flashback, he went in later and recorded his own self going, flashback.
Chad is in his own studio just
I just like to picture
creating
that.
these little
I like to
clips.
picture that.
Oh, it
extra
wasn't
work.
even that fancy. It was just into my phone.
It was funny.
Why? You have a microphone.
Yeah, Harry, you wouldn't understand because you don't have a podcast set up. You just open your computer. But to record it into your microphone and line up the audio,
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. It's like
The more you guys talk about microphones and trying to get me to buy one, they seem like a pain in the ass, and they don't just work. You have to plug them into other things that plug into the computer, and then you have to do all this configuration. For
That's
me,
commitment.
I just open the computer and press record. I
Yeah,
don't
but
even
look
do
at how
that.
much
I just
cooler we
open the
look
computer.
than you. When I'm making a point and I can be like, listen, and hold my microphone like this, and you're just sitting there looking like you're on a weekly stand-up about to talk about
Listen.
deliverables,
Plus, you sound like you're on Zoom.
and you look like you're on Zoom,
It gives a level of authenticity. I'm
which is
raw.
what we all strive for.
Oh no, to sound professional, I have to do professional things. Like plug it in.
Yeah, it's like just there's all you guys keep talking about all
You
this
can't
setup
just have
involved.
your microphone floating there. It has to like be plugged into your computer.
It has to be on this elaborate crane system. It has to be
This
blocking half
is
your face.
cool. This thing is cool as heck. It just attaches to my desk. I love my setup. I'm very happy about it. Plus, if the viewers want you to get a microphone, you're really going to tell them no?
Well, the viewers are going to have to cough up
Up their
some
game. Get a little more invested themselves.
Hey, Tom and Contra, if you wouldn't mind, in your next comment, can you let Harry know that this would be way cooler if he too had a microphone?
Yeah, Nikki and Chris, I know you guys watch.
Hey,
Hook it
Sierra, and anybody else at my book club, if you wouldn't mind doing us a favor in the comments and letting Harry know that he doesn't look legit enough to be a part of this podcast. Thank you.
My background's getting better, I think.
I'm sure everybody watching really cares about this.
Yeah. all 50 people.
Yeah, and not all 50 people, and sometimes mom.
Yeah.
Mom watching this podcast is the equivalent of Y being a vowel. Sometimes.
Yeah.
From the first episode to now, I think we have seen improvement. I've seen it, for sure.
I know my thumbnails just keep getting cooler and cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm proud of us.
I think that needs some improvement still.
Well, what you got? Let's
Now,
see.
if you had a microphone, you could have done a lot more. You could have done a lot more cool audio work there.
Yeah, it could have gotten more bass.
Yeah, it gives you a lot more. It gives you a lot more to play with because there's more that you. It's like trying to edit a JPEG. You know, you really want the raw footage. I was hoping if we bullshit for a little bit, Justin might show up, but alas, it's 9:30.
On a Sunday, on God's day, he should definitely be up and moving by now.
Yeah, that's confusing messaging because it's like this is supposed to be the Sabbath, a day of rest, but it's also the day that you have to get up early and go to church. So
Yeah, it is the day of rest, so I guess
little-
he probably
little
is
bit of a
doing it better
conflicting-
than all of us.
maybe we need to talk to him about his sleep hygiene. A little melatonin, a little like bring the AC down.
Rip a couple oxys.
Rip them. You have to check to see if that's how they talk these days.
I hope that's how you say it.
Smoke a marijuana cigarette.
Smokes the dope. I'm gonna I had to rip a couple of Lexapros later. Speaking of ripping pills, this episode shows Ellie at some point on painkillers after burning her arm, and it was the first time I believed her character. Like, to me, that version of her made sense. She was vulnerable. She was young acting. There wasn't all of this, like, drama and this teenage attitude. It was just a goofy kid who did something stupid. And to me, that was a believable version of her. The rest of the time, I've been like, why are we trusting her to go on these adventures, trusting her to protect people? She's, throughout the entire season, is still, no matter what character building they do, a liability. And I don't know why they keep trusting her to do stuff.
Yeah. In that episode, I feel like they made her try too hard to seem like a young person. So she came across as seeming younger than she was supposed to be. When if they just had her act like she normally does, she would kind of still seem like a 14, 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely played her up, like her younger age up in that episode. But I agree with Allie that she does a good job at playing the younger character. She has a baby face. She looks younger, so it's just like it kind of worked. It's when she does get more serious that I buy it less.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not dislike the whole flashback episode as much as I was anticipating. One of the things that I was concerned about was I knew they were going to combine them all, and in the game they kind of give them to you piecemeal, so you get a little bit of Joel, you get a little bit of their backstory throughout the game, so you're not just you're Ellie the whole time, and then there's one section where you're going back to Joel. Like, you get pieces of it all the way through, and that's how they deal with the fact that Joel's not alive for most of it. So I was a little worried, but I thought it worked out.
Yeah, I didn't dislike this one. I felt for the second to last episode, for this one to be kind of like a slow choice to put in that spot, pacing wise. And there were moments in this one where I actually liked some of her acting. Even there's like one serious moment in particular that I thought she did pretty okay at.
Did you? I did not notice that. Like, I don't want to be somebody who just jumps on the Ellie wasn't right for this role, or Bella, right? Bella wasn't right for this role bandwagon, but I can't help it. I just feel like she ruins it for me. Like, I liked this. I'm doing as many likes as Harry right now.
She has sort of a blank, wide-eyed stare sometimes.
That's what I was getting to.
I'm like, what is she feeling right now?
That's
tell.
exactly what I was gonna say. The depth and range of her acting and her facial expressions really takes me out of it, because it's just always wide-eyed. She doesn't have a lot of movement. Like, if you go back and rewatch the scene where Dina cries about her playing guitar, as silly as that is, the emotional range of acting in her face is really impressive, and you believe that she's going through these feelings, whereas when it's Ella...
Belly.
When it's Belly, it's just not a lot of variation. And so for me, when it's Joel and the Moira character, anytime it's other people, I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. I'm really enjoying the interaction between these characters. And then when she's in it, I'm like, what's going on here? What's going on here?
Yeah. So which part, Chad, were you saying that you liked her acting?
I thought she did okay at that very end scene. You know, they're both crying and stuff. But there are things about that scene I don't like.
Yeah. Well, it starts off with something that Harry probably really enjoyed, which is a currency that we haven't seen used yet. We've seen weed currency. We've seen trading of many, many things.
If I had any criticisms about the show, they were all washed away in this episode. Because they showed a part of the bartering system in this community is Lego. And Joel traded a decent sized bag of Lego to the old racist guy. Was he racist? Homophobic guy. He traded a bag.
He's probably all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he traded a bag of Lego for a cake and a bone. Cake was for Ellie, the bone was for a guitar scene, but he got a raw deal.
It's raw. That's raw. Garrett! The chicken is raw.
Because with the markup of Lego, that would have been worth so much more. Like,
were you paying attention to what type of pieces he was getting? Just to like,
They were
was
kinda
your Lego
generic.
brain?
Like, I could tell the props people were like every color. The collection was iffy at best, but the guy who received the Lego goes, "Oh, my grandkids are gonna love these." It's like,
Yeah, right.
I know a Lego fan when I see one. Those are for him for sure.
I loved the Lego currency. I don't know that I love how much they're trying to make me feel endearing qualities for Grandpappy homophobe. Like, I don't like how the show is trying to make me like things about him. Like, is he a dick or isn't he?
Well, it gives him some depth and range a little bit. It shows that he's not at least one note. He's not just the racist homophobe. Like, he has other things going on. He's a bartender. And he used to
You've
be a
just
cop,
tacked on
and he
racism now.
And he also bakes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
'cause
didn't
he's-
mind that.
And he can't like Legos.
Yeah, I heard he hates dogs too.
Kicks him.
You have to draw the line somewhere. Even Tony Soprano had a heart cut off at animal abuse.
Oh, you killed a dog.
So it went from the Lego scene, which was definitely catering towards me, and then straight into the guitar building scene. As musicians, what did that do for you? I thought that was really cool. Like,
I loved it. I thought that was such a cool gift. Like, I want that guitar as a present for my birthday.
It was a nice guitar.
Cool.
I don't know. I just
That was a
found
very
it-
thrilling risk. Chad,
I think-
Chad-
okay, so-
as more of a musician, Chad really loved that.
Yeah, I tried to
I
tee
think
him
it-
up on that one.
I know, but what I
Right.
guess
The hard hitting questions.
at this point in the season, I think it had lost me enough
Oh.
to have not drawn me back in to care enough what they were doing. Like, I
Oh.
can appreciate some of those moments, and I do think the last two episodes weren't terrible, and I liked aspects of them. But overall, in the context of the whole thing, I don't know. I'm not finding myself interested or invested. So
I think, yeah, I agree. I think it brought me back a little bit because seeing the depth, well, this probably wasn't intentional on their part, but seeing the depth of Joel and Ellie's relationship and how much he cared for her and went out of his way to make these magical moments for her, it upped my annoyance with her behavior. Because he created these beautiful experiences for her to become an astronaut, for her to... She had a full Katy Perry moment, and then she still can't forgive him. It was really frustrating me in that episode. The whole flashback thing, the more beautiful moments they had, the more angry at her I was getting.
Oh, I got angry at her right when she dug her hand into that cake. Like,
Oh
yeah,
my
I was so
gosh.
pissed.
I definitely made a note about that. Like, that was so unnecessary.
Yeah, it did not make me like her more. Now the cake is harder to eat for everyone else.
yeah,
She
He went through a
my
lot.
germs
The
it.
Lego he gave up for that to happen, like, completely unappreciated.
Yeah.
she finger gashed it. With gash grabbers.
You know how you know how mom sometimes uses phrases that she shouldn't use for stuff, and whenever she wants to say that somebody like touched all the food, she always say they fingered it. It was that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'm on board with this gash grabbers. Like, I like jingly coffee.
It sounds like,
I like
gash grabbers
flat
could be
boxers.
some sort of like Kohl's Cash type of situation.
Yeah, it's a shopping spree.
It does sound like a shopping spree.
Grab as many gashes as you can in 5 minutes. Just a bunch of gashes laid out.
hate it. Brittany said Justin texted.
Yeah, he said overslept LOL. It's not funny.
So, speaking of the Katy Perry scene, the museum part. This part I really loved in the game. The Naughty Dog in general in their games, they do The Last of Us and Uncharted.
The what? What did you just say?
Naughty
Naughty
Dog.
Dog.
Naughty Dog, the developer.
Oh, okay.
They are the studio that made Last of Us, and they made
I
Uncharted
thought it was some
as
sort.
well.
I thought it was some cool gaming term, like, oh, they naughty dogged this scene.
I mean, that would definitely work in the gaming community because they have a huge reputation for creating these realistic worlds, and their storytelling is kind of on another level. A lot of developers like could only aspire to be close to as good as Naughty Dog as far
What
as
other
their world building.
games do they have?
Uncharted?
Well, Uncharted and The Last of Us are their main ones, but they also were the crew who did Crash Bandicoot. So
Okay, I like them.
they've been around
I
for
have
a
zero
long time.
complaints.
And so they do a really great job at building these levels that may not have a lot of action, but are really fun to explore. And the museum scene in general, I thought was done really well.
Dinosaur exhibit. The Museum of Natural History. You can't skimp on publicity.
When compared to the game, like it kind of matched the tone. There was a scene where you do go through and pick a helmet to wear when you go through space. I thought it was well done.
I kind of want to. I'm getting a little bit of a urge to play the game.
It's a good game.
Yeah, there's a lot of those, like it goes action and then there's like a break where you get character development and then action. Like a lot of these scenes that we see are being done in the show. It's matching the game really well as far as what actually happens. The problem is each of these scenes they go by so quick, when in the game you're in them for a lot longer, so they leave you with a lot more like weight felt from them.
But also, to me, they do go by quick, but in relation to the pacing of the show, they slow it down quite a bit. When like the rest of the show is so rushed and just feels so smashed, that when they get to scenes like this and let it just sit for a while, it doesn't feel of the same show. It feels like this chunk stuck in there and now you got to sit and wait for a while.
Yeah, the pacing is off and I wouldn't know how to resolve that.
Do you feel like overall the pacing of the game you enjoyed much better than the pacing of the show?
Yeah.
Because it seems like a recurring theme when we're discussing it is that the game was a lot more intense and emotional and captivating than the way that the show was being laid out.
Yeah, I feel like the first season could have been, or the first game could have been 2 seasons at least to make it feel like it was a smoother arc.
Yeah, because they'll just like in the show in both seasons these big set pieces or these big moments are kind of, they go by so fast that you barely have time to sit with them.
But then they'll take one small moment and extend it.
And then they'll add flashbacks and characters that didn't exist. For example, in these flashback scenes, the Eugene character.
This was my least favorite part of this episode.
Well, so in the game, Eugene was just like mentioned. He wasn't, you never saw him?
All he was the owner of the store that had all the weed in it. They just mentioned like, oh, this is Eugene's store. And then you find out that he died of natural causes and they kind of envy him because of that, because that's a rare thing in this world.
So in the game, then why is Ellie so mad at Joel?
That's a very good point.
What's going on out there, Chad?
Oh, it's windy and Foozer's looking out the door.
Foozer's like, I want out
Foozer is,
there.
or you are. Chad and Foozer are on that same wavelength. They're both like, is that a bird?
Yeah.
But in the game, at the beginning, Ellie's mad at Joel because they've already had their confrontation about her being taken from the hospital and Joel killing everyone. So that's why she's mad at the game. And so it, I think, makes a little more sense that 9 months later she's still mad, because that's a really, really heavy thing to deal with. In the show, they created this Eugene scene so they could have Joel and Ellie have that confrontation on the porch. And now Ellie's still bitter about the Eugene thing 9 months later, which I think she probably would have been over it by then, considering the world that they live in.
Well, they wanted to make it show that he lied to her twice and that she could see it because he said it the same way as he did before.
I felt like the way they set that up made a little sense as to why she was so mad at him. I still don't agree with how much anger she held on to, considering everything that he did for her. But I did like seeing her conflicted about wondering what really happened, and maybe seeing somebody that she respected and cared about so much do something bad that she disagreed with was really jarring for her. So I kind of got it, but also, like, you got to do what you got to do in this world that they live in. So I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they're working too hard to make us dislike Joel more, or like see him
It's not
more
gonna
as
happen.
like a bad guy. They're like adding all these things that he does that are wrong. Like if that Eugene thing were to actually happen and she were like, we got to take him back. Like in the game, if that were a scene, Joel would be like, no, this is something we have to do. And if you want to be out here on patrol, you got to get used to this kind of thing. You know, he would just do it and he wouldn't lie to her about it. He would like teach her that that's what you have to do. And she's been in the apocalypse long enough to like, maybe she wouldn't like it, but she would get it.
Yeah, I was feeling the same thing. That like I kind of thought that when they first mentioned that Joel killed Eugene in this shitty way, that's just like they're trying to twist the knife a little bit and make us dislike Joel more and have him feel a little more like, I don't know, feel less bad about him getting murdered like he did.
Do you guys think that he should have taken Eugene back, or do you think he did the right thing?
I think he had time.
Yeah, he probably had time. But
and
also,
it's just him. Like they could have killed him. Like keep him at a distance. If he starts to turn, kill him. Like no big deal.
Yeah, but they want us to have certain feelings towards Joel.
But I think also the risk of seeing your loved one turn, if they would have gotten there, depending on what time he would have gotten there in the transition, that could be worse. And also like putting people at risk.
I don't know. That wouldn't be for you to decide how they want to spend their last moments, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it ends up worse for them. But
it didn't make me think less of Joel. I wasn't like... In my head, I was thinking, okay, well, if that's the rules and that's what they got to do, I'm sure he had his reasoning for doing it. And then showing him crying so much, I'm gonna be Team Joel over Team Bellytron.
Yeah, but they wanted us to not like him for lying to her. But
people lie.
It didn't make sense to me. So Eugene's out there on patrol or doing something, and then Joel's leading him somewhere, and he's like, which way do I go? Which is the way? It's like, you would have known which way to go. You're from Jackson. You're out there patrolling. Like, you don't know that the big cliff overlooking the lake and the mountains is right over here?
Yeah, I took that as, like, the cordyceps were kind of taking over, and he was, like, starting to feel the effect of them and maybe getting a little, like, disoriented from them. One thing I did like from that was he mentions, like, oh, the cordyceps, like, I'm really cold. Like, I didn't really expect that. It's one of the few times you get someone's perspective who's turning.
I kind of wanted to see a little more. When they zoomed in on his face, I thought they were going to start showing a little bit of, you know, maybe what happens to your eyes or whatever. But then he was just like, I see her.
Yeah, it makes me want to see more of the infection in the game or in the show. Like, I forgot a lot of the times that they are infected because it's so not present. It makes a lot more sense now why they added that big event in the first episode, that thing at Jackson when they all came in, because you really don't get a lot of them after the fact. You get a few scenes with the stalkers, but that's really about it. Like, clickers aren't really much of a thing in this series anymore.
No, it's The Walking Dead.
So
yeah,
all of the mushroom monsters have different tiers, because I've heard you guys say tiers. Clickers. I've heard you say other things I can't remember right now.
Bloaters.
There was another one.
Crackly boys,
which I'm sure is in the game.
Jammers.
Stalkers.
Yeah. So speaking of infected, the tattoo aftercare really concerns me. As somebody with one or two tats, I'm really bothered because when Joel storms in there, grabs her arm, and his dirty thumb is just right on the tattoo.
We've seen them do a lot worse with dirty thumbs, Al.
But yeah, there's definitely not Sanoderm in this world.
Like, what? Okay, there's not Sanoderm, but like there's no way people aren't just dying from infected wounds out here, and you're going to be careful about everything else. Well.
If it isn't Mr. 9 a.m. himself.
Guys, it's okay if we film at the regular time, but could we push 1 hour just so I can get a little shut
Just because I camped 2 days ago, guys.
Yeah, I'm a tired boy right now. I'm real tired.
Well, and don't go camping before a filming day.
I know you guys have never gone camping in your lives, but...
no, we have. It's just,
it makes you tired.
Still can wake up to an alarm clock like a grown-up.
Yeah, if anything, I wake up so much earlier when camping.
Maybe you can stop turning off your alarm when you have responsibilities.
Billerys.
I set a bunch of alarms and I kept turning them off. It wasn't even me. That wasn't me. That was Patricia.
It was Chelsea.
Responsibilities.
It was not Chelsea.
You know what I'm talking about?
But she's still asleep.
Sponsor Billerys. Rugrats.
Yeah, I got responsibilities now. Responsibilities?
Me being late is symbolic for how much I don't give a fuck about this show.
About this show?
Well, you should care about this show. This show.
I know. I don't know what happened. I was so tired.
You owe us.
All right, Justin.
How much?
So
What did I
we
miss?
just got-
What did I miss?
Mostly everything.
We're at Eugene.
You missed about 40 minutes.
No, we're at Tattoo Aftercare.
Oh shit, we are. Yeah, tattoo.
Her
aftercare.
tattoo looks like a fake tattoo to me. I never buy it every time I see it.
Yeah, especially the line work over the scar tissue. They really should have consulted a tattoo artist on that. And then Joel was like, it doesn't look too bad. I was like, yes, it does. I liked the moth equals death thing with Moira. I know you guys don't like her character, but I really like her.
I didn't like the moth Moira thing.
I did.
Yeah. I like that Ellie like burned her arm and you gotta like they played that scene out. I thought it was well done because they didn't really show that in the game that she was like frustrated by having this bite and trying to hide her arms and like wanted to wear short sleeves. Like it's just a kid trying to deal with like blending back into society. I thought that was good.
It finally made sense, her personality with what she was trying to portray. Like you finally are doing something that makes sense. You're being reckless in a way that matches the scenario. The rest of it, I'm like, you're just out here letting her wild west in whatever way she wants, and somehow you all still trust her. To me, I was happy to see her do something stupid like burn her arm, because I was like, okay, this is what a teenager would do. They want to wear short sleeves, they do something stupid. The rest of it, I'm out of town. I'm out of office.
She keeps getting bit and has to keep mutilating herself.
She just has to keep getting bad tattoos over and over again.
I gotta cut my hand off now, damn it.
She's like, what next? A rose, a skull.
Get the iron.
Someone's like, what the fuck is happening to you?
I want her to get a tattoo of a mushroom or something.
More and more shit, parts disappearing.
Everybody just thinks she's the clumsiest person at camp.
So it ends with the porch scene.
Mm-hmm.
And
the horse scene or the porch scene?
The porch scene. Did
clean
you watch the show?
Clean out your camping ears, Justin.
I thought you were talking about Shimmer.
We rewatched the scene compared to the game after this episode, and this is where they spliced in the scene that happened previously where Ellie confronts Joel about the hospital and Joel confesses. In the game, Ellie just like confronts him, like says the same thing, you tell me, and if you lie to me, then I'm gone. And all Joel says is, making a vaccine would have killed you, so I stopped them. That was the end of the conversation, and Ellie just breaks down crying, and she's like just like can't breathe because she's so overwhelmed by him telling her the truth because she didn't want it to be true. Mm-hmm. In the show, they definitely take it like I feel like they really don't trust the audience. They have to lay out every piece of information directly. So like, you killed all those people and Marlene, and like it really takes you step by step what Joel did and makes you remember everything that you already saw by describing it to you.
I didn't feel that way. As somebody who didn't play the game, I felt that was a very well done emotional scene that brought me back into it.
It just seems like they're trying real hard to make Joel the bad guy. Like, he is a bad guy, but they're trying to drill it down into your skull. Yeah, guys, look, Joel, look what he did. He's bad.
But in that last scene, I didn't feel that way because of the opening scene with his dad. I felt even more a fan of Joel and him just trying his best to make the decisions that he needed to make because he couldn't be there for his daughter in the very beginning of the series. That he was now, his story was making decisions to protect Ellie, and that was why he said, I love you in a way that you can't understand or whatever. And I really, really liked that scene. So as somebody who, maybe viewers comment if you didn't play the game, yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was very well done. I was really connected with Joel. His zaddy tears were breaking my heart. Let me give you a hug.
Well, he did a great
Or
job.
a snuggle.
I thought she did a better job than I thought she would with the scene like that. I was kind of buying her for a little bit. What I didn't like was how they definitely changed from the cure was ambiguous. Could they have made a cure?
Yeah.
We don't really know.
Oh,
But then Joel's
he
like,
was like, yes, they could have.
like he knows for
100%.
sure.
Yeah, that's pretty
That
annoying.
would have worked.
Because that's why I think they're really trying to make sure you know Joel's a bad guy. Because in the original story, instead of saying in the game, because we say in the game a lot, in the original story, Joel is very...
The original story in the game.
Yeah.
It is in the game.
I know, but let's call it the original story.
Justin goes out in the woods for one night, and now he comes back a full-on
Guys,
philosopher.
can we start calling it playable art, please?
Yeah, so in the playable art, Joel, he's just very like, we have no idea. Did me and Harry both get haircuts from last week?
Yeah.
Well, you have a hat on. How would we know?
It's short,
Nice.
baby.
Yeah, the Neil Druckmann came out since like these episodes have aired and said specifically like there's no question the vaccine would have worked. So it took
like that.
away any of like the
I don't like that either.
the moral like quandary there of just like, well, it may not have even worked, so is it worth risking Ellie's life for that? So Joel had a little bit more to stand on with his decision. Like obviously killing all those people is terrible, but there was like,
and how do those people even know it would work? You don't know just because one person's immune that you could find a cure from her brain matter.
When they didn't express that they were sure about that, even when he was there and about to kill them. It was very, we have to kill her to find out. It wasn't. We know exactly
Couldn't they
what
run
we're doing.
other tests first too?
And at this point, it's like, what's the vaccine really going to do? Like, people are being ripped apart by these things. Are you going to go...
Let's get some anti-vaxxers in the chat.
Yeah, are you going to go out into the city and, like, inject clickers with the vaccine? And then they turn back to humans and they go, thanks, guys.
No, they're going to Ace Ventura dart them.
3 darts is too much!
3 darts is
They
too
definitely
much.
would have a distribution problem.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
You're going to cure it with one Ellie?
Yeah.
One Ellie's worth is going to cure everything?
I mean,
All
at
they do
least
is they
they
take
would
her
be
blood and they spray it onto the fungi fingers like weed killer, and it just works.
Well, Allie, I think as far as the Ellie's worth goes, they would probably, like, clone the sample and, do some petri dishes and shit. Whatever science stuff they do.
But overall, I did think the scene was well done. The problem that it's not going to go away. I played the game, and I care so much about the story, so...
The original story?
The original art story. They're doing, I think, a good job of, like giving us all the scenes that we got in the game. I'm getting the same story twice, and so... no matter what I do, I can't stop comparing the two.
That sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem for sure, and I'd be really interested to see what I would think of the show if I didn't play the game. Like, I think I would be better off having not played the game.
I would still think this is a pile of Walking Dead zombie shit. This reminds me so much of I don't know, it's like Degrassi meets zombies.
No.
Yeah, it's a cheese fest.
Degrassi had some really intense moments.
Yeah, it gave us Drake.
Oh, you could literally call it Drake and Josh then.
Yeah.
You want some cheese on those mushrooms?
Degrassi made Drake, gave him the street
true.
cred he needed.
Yeah. Jimmy Brooks. Shout out to my man Jimmy Brooks. In a wheelchair to this day. He wouldn't have survived the apocalypse. They would have tore his ass up.
Oh, Justin's gonna get hate in the comments from
Brittany. There's not many people in the comments other than people we know.
I'm just trying to prepare for the future, you know?
I want to talk about something, and it's a kind of a future spoiler.
King of anti-spoilers is doing a spoiler, everybody.
Yeah.
This is not, and let the record show this is not the first time Harry spoiled something.
This is a flashback scene, so it's not going to change, even though
Flashback.
you'll learn in a second.
Flashback.
So
Flashback.
this scene, this is
Go on, Harry.
probably the most.
Harry
Just say it.
whenever you say something stupid or you're goofing off, And you'll notice this when you edit. Harry will smile at the camera and wait for you to finish and then just bring it back. So you're goofing off and Harry will go.
He's very polite.
So
gotta keep the ball rolling, but I want to give you space.
Look at his hair. All right, Harry, you have the floor.
Thank you. So. Fuck it.
Go on.
I'll try to build a fart.
Our sense of humor is so sophisticated.
No, I want to hear it.
Flashback.
So this
We're
scene,
back.
it was very emotional. Brittany was crying. I was tearing up. Joel did Pedro Pascal did an awesome job with the scene. This is probably the best. Did I get that wrong too?
You said pedo Pascal.
I really did.
Damn, I never made that connection. That's like, oof. There could be some really good jokes in there.
We don't talk about Zeddy Pascal like that.
It was an emotional scene. Go ahead, Harry.
I'm just waiting for.
We've reached the point in the meeting where we've lost the ability to be serious, but go ahead.
It's because I showed up.
Spoil away, Harry.
Bella Ramsey, I thought she did really well. Yeah, I thought this scene was really heavy, really emotional. It was a really big moment. Like, this is one of the biggest moments in the series between her and Joel. It's like the most emotional between the two. It's the first time they really, really dig deep and get to that place.
Are we talking about the porch part?
The porch part.
Okay.
And in the game, it knew that as well. This is the final scene in the game. Like, it ends with this flashback, essentially. And I'm not going to talk about the context around it, but that's why it's a future spoiler. Is like, this is the, like, final climax. Like, this is it. And they already gave it to us. Yeah. So.
In part 2 of the game?
In part 2, yeah.
I have a totally different ending in my head.
This is like it ends with this flashback, and it knows how important this scene is to the story of season 2. And so I'm really interested to see where they go from here as far as how they're going to give us that final wrap up with Joel and Ellie, because this was the moment where Joel and Ellie have their like somewhat reconciliation.
Wait, which one was the reconciliation?
When she says that she is willing to try to forgive him. And that was a really big moment for her.
But I thought this porch scene happened earlier in the game.
That's what I thought.
No, it does it similar, like where she sees him and then walks away. And then early in the game, you get the point where she confronts Joel and Joel tells her everything that happened at the hospital, but that was a separate scene. And so this scene was reserved for the end where they have their moment where they're like, we're going to try to make it work.
I think Steve will be really happy to know that we finally got the scene where Ellie goes, "You swore." Because it's been in literally every advertisement on Max, HBO Max, whatever they want to call themselves now. Shout out to a rebrand. It's been on every single one. Every time you watch a show, the commercial for Last of Us is, "You swore." And Steve hasn't watched any of the show. So every time that comes on, he, 1, mimics her perfectly at the right time, and 2, he'll go, "Have you seen it yet? Have you seen that scene yet?" And every time I have to tell him that it hasn't. And after Joel perished, I was like, I don't know where they're going to put that in. Because he gone. But they did. I was very excited. Can't wait to tell Steve about it.
It would be really funny if it wasn't in there, because movies and shows do that. Like, they'll have a specific scene in the trailer that drills into your head, and then it's not in it.
And then it got taken out in the editing room.
Yeah. A good example, and this is a weird one, is on the Minecraft movie. In the trailer, he goes, "I am Steve." And then in the movie, it's like, "I am Steve." Why did that happen?
Big changes.
Huge difference. Huge disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean, that took me out of that movie entirely. I was fully
in Final Destination, the door
revolving
thing.
door.
That's what it's called.
All right, so let's get into the finale.
Let's get into
I
it.
wish we wouldn't.
Yeah, I wish we were talking about the rehearsal. That show's much more interesting.
And the rehearsal would have built better sets too.
I thought the sets
Hey,
were
the
great.
Seattle Aquarium was really cool. I thought. Other people who have been to the Seattle Aquarium, Abby, who doesn't watch this, we went to the Seattle Aquarium together. It was neat.
So how does the finale kick off?
Is it Ellie arriving back at the theater?
I think so.
Yes.
I made her talk.
I just don't. After the flashback episode, I just don't care.
That's what I'm saying. There's like, even if this is a good finale and there's a lot of crazy moments in it, the show has lost me enough to where, like, no matter what they did here, I don't think I would have been fully back on board anyway.
Yeah, I don't even know where it was in the episode. I have very limited notes on the last episode, and one of the 4 lines I wrote is just, I don't care.
It was just CGI slop for me. Dude, the fucking boat scene when it's raining and it looks like a pile of CGI.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck
I liked
was
the boat
all
scene
that?
though, because gets on the beach.
She gets on the beach, she crashes, and then the boat's like on the shore with her perfectly.
Yeah,
Like,
she
what the fuck
perfectly
happened
swam
here?
up to it, and then she gets on the beach. She gets strung up. She gets hung.
drug away.
The little kid is like, rip her guts out, and then last minute something happens. She conveniently gets saved.
Saved by
And
the
then
bell.
She gets back in the boat, just like, well,
She's like-
Ra was the wrong beach.
Yeah. So quick and pointless.
It was so just out of
She
left
was
field.
Going to a store and didn't find what she was looking for, so she had to go
Could have cut that whole scene.
go to the
Hey,
next
it's like-
TJ Maxx.
It's like Beer Fest when landfill dies.
You can. It's like you can tell that the writers just want to show us the Scar world one more time, and that's how they know how to do that.
Yeah, I don't care about them anymore.
Yeah, that whole scene, not in the game,
Not in the original story.
it reminded me of Moana, because she's on her ship and a big wave comes and she crashes, and then it cuts to black and she wakes up on shore with her boat. And I'm like, I know
You
who
better
you
cut,
guys are
Harry.
pulling inspiration from.
I wanna be shiny. Someone should put that song over her riding the boat, or what's the Ocean Calls Me song or whatever. God, Moana's so good. I love Moana. I want to go see Lilo and Stitch real bad.
I'd probably go see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chad said, it just wanted to get us to the islands just so it could show some sort of like dual plane of action that we'll get later with Abby. And this, at the beginning of the show, I gave it credit for not using the plot device of Deus Ex Machina.
I know, I thought of
where
you.
Deus Ex Machina is when a person is in like this situation that seems there's no way they can get out of it, and then something else just shows up out of nowhere to save them.
Do you Google these things before we film, or do you just have these nerd things?
He goes
living
on
in your
Reddit
head?
and he reads the top comments and then writes them down.
I thought it was the thing where you have the hots for a robot and then it tries to slice you up and move out.
That's Ex Machina. Once you add Deus, it's all over.
Oh, okay.
So
I only have an
Amadeus.
associate's degree. I don't know.
Amadeus,
So-
Amadeus.
in the first episode, I gave it credit because it wasn't using that plot device. Because Tommy was trapped in the alleyway and the bloater came, and I'm like, someone's going to shoot it and save it right at the end because it's the trope that we all know. And it didn't happen. And I specifically said, like, that's really cool that they didn't do that because it's so common, it's overplayed.
I mean, technically, I think the writers still did it.
Yeah,
Is it-
it
Yeah.
still collapsed.
But it was because of something that he did. He had agency over it. He burned it with the flamethrower. It was because of his actions that it died. So it wasn't the same thing where when Ellie's getting attacked by the stalkers in that warehouse, all of a sudden Jesse's there and saves her in the last second. Like, thank God he just showed up at the right time, just
Yeah.
in time. Like,
She was about to
didn't make
get.
sense.
She was about to get. Swear to God, I'm gutted. And then all of a sudden, burr, 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 burr.
The horns are going, leave her. But she has guns
Sick
and a boat.
timing. Sick
Nope,
timing.
we don't got time. We gotta go.
Don't have
Like,
time to kill her.
Yeah, the
is it?
slice
Just
doesn't.
let her go.
Yeah, the slice doesn't take that long.
Yeah,
All right,
just
get this quick.
Slice her real quick.
Slice and run.
Yeah.
What in the
No.
flying fuck were
Let
they
her go.
thinking on that part? Like, it is so cornball.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it. Like,
And she just like brushes herself off, like, back to what I was doing.
I started the episode against my will. Like, I was like, I do not want to go watch this, but I have to. So I put it on, and then that happens. I'm like, I'm out. I finished it, but it was painful. It was hard to
Just
sit through.
pointless. Okay, so let's go back. They're in the theater. And then Jesse's like, I gotta go do something, find Tommy or whatever. And he's like, you can stay. I can do this by myself. I don't need you. But then they decide to leave an injured pregnant woman alone by herself. I'm like, wouldn't it be better if Tommy went by him or Jesse went by himself?
He
rather
offered.
than leave. Yeah.
But this same scene, Dina walks in and Jesse goes, "You shouldn't be on your leg." And then he goes, "All right, we're going to leave. You're good to barricade yourself in." And Brittany looks at me and goes, "What the fuck?" Because you shouldn't be on your leg, but also, could you pick this couch up and put it over the door? And the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like when Ellie was like, "I have to take care of you. I'm going to be a dad." And then she's like, "You're going to be a decoy. I'll flank it." So we don't get flanked. Do we care that she's pregnant or don't we?
These small decisions that they make to differentiate from the game, they don't make full sense in the end. Because in the game, Dina never got shot by the arrow. But they still need Dina to be left behind in the show and do the barricade scene. But they're like, "Oh, we shot her, so I guess we have to say this line, like, 'Oh, you shouldn't be on your leg.'" But it doesn't really make sense now that Dina's injured, which wasn't a thing in the game. And another thing that happened that was confusing, or may have confused you, was Dina's like washing off Ellie's wounds on her back. Where did those wounds come from? In the game, when Ellie confronted Nora at the hospital or wherever that was, when her and Nora fall into the basement of the hospital, like Ellie pulls her down and they fall backwards and like tumble into the basement and they get injured along the way. And that's kind of like the main source of Ellie's injuries, is that tumble and like all the fighting that she does leading up to that scene. Like she gets in a lot of scraps. In the show, they don't do any of that. Like they get safely into the basement. Ellie doesn't kill anyone or get into any like fights or anything. And so Ellie doesn't really have those injuries, but they still needed that scene where Dina's cleaning off her wounds. It doesn't really make sense how we got there.
I think we're just supposed to assume that she's just out here getting injured a lot, fighting stuff.
But yeah,
it doesn't show us.
I saw that and I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess either I missed something or I'm just supposed to." Sometimes they want me to assume, and sometimes they want to over-explain and want me to not think at all.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they want us just to forget that the tribe of Howie Mandel's just let her go for no reason.
So then they go out into the world looking for Tommy, and then they hear gunshots, and they're like, "That must be Tommy."
It must be. That's the only. It has to be Tommy.
Oh wait, first she wants to save that little kid.
He's the only sniper out here.
Yeah, she wants to save that Scar kid, and then Jesse doesn't want her to.
She wants to save the Scar kid who gave her the...
Different kid. This is in the parking garage.
I don't know. I looked away a couple times.
Yeah.
Good girl.
I'm going to be honest. It's possible that I dozed off parts of this episode.
They're in that little parking structure, and the wolves are going to kill like a young Scar guy.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that from the game, too? The sniper scene with like the big parking garage, and he's like way up through the parking garage. That was a fun level.
Well, Sniper wasn't involved in this particular scene.
Sniper,
it was more
no
about
sniping.
Jesse doesn't want to risk their position because there's only 2 of them and like 6 of the other guys, which makes sense. But Ellie's like, "Let me get him."
She was going to take on 6 people.
Because like when they're arguing,
with,
she's
a
like,
deep voice, like, "Let me get him."
Yeah, she's like, "You care about your community, which is wrong. I care about my community, which is Joel, and also this other guy I don't know."
Yeah, and she's so like on her high horse about like, "You let that kid die," and then later she sees people like 2 strangers on a dock, and she's like, "I'm gonna get these fuckers."
Kill these fuckers. Yeah. Doesn't even know who they are.
Shoots a
They're just
pregnant lady.
fishing. It's just some people who've like managed to survive the apocalypse and just totally unaware of what's going on.
This is my boat now.
Yeah, that was so stupid because she like wanted to get information about where Abby was, but then she's just willing to kill strangers from a distance. But when she sees Owen and the girl, Mel.
I thought you froze.
I did mentally.
Owen and
girl.
Then she's like, "No, point on a map for me." But these 2 people on a dock, she's just gonna blow their heads off.
Yeah, what if they knew where Abby was?
Yeah, what if that was Owen and the girl?
She got a triple kill with 1 bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Worked out
impressive.
pretty well.
She should play Halo.
Yeah, what was your thoughts on the aquarium scene?
Who?
All of the group.
I thought it was kind of an I don't remember. I really don't remember the game anymore, the second one. So I'm totally detached. And the aquarium scene, I was surprised by the baby, and I don't remember if that was in the game or not.
It was.
I was surprised by that too. I wrote, oh no, the baby. That's the extent of my surprise.
It was pretty sad when she's like, is he out or is it out or whatever.
That was pretty sad.
It's a pretty good scene.
But I was kind of glad Ellie got a little taste of doing something bad. You know, she's always like judging people, acting like she's on some sort of moral high ground.
In the original art story, Ellie's she's already done a lot of shit. Like by this time, she is a little mini Joel. Like she's a stone cold killer. And so it's weird.
Yeah, and she had more in the playable art. She had more of a hand in like killing them. It wasn't. It was still kind of a accident, but not exactly. Like she stabs that girl in the neck with a knife.
I was wrong! Close the bridge!
So she's like, she intentionally was fighting her.
Yeah. So it wasn't one. It wasn't double kill, one bullet.
It's triple kill.
Triple kill
with baby. Chad loves movies with babies being abused.
Yeah.
Poor Things is a good movie, you dumb idiot.
Get the baby.
Save it.
We got to do Poor Things.
So it was a skirmish for sure, but Ellie didn't know that she was pregnant. It was a similar thing where when she died, then it was revealed that she was pregnant.
Harry's vocabulary kills me.
What'd I say?
It's bigger than mine.
I don't know.
Say the same shit every week.
What was that reward we used to get at school? You go up in the Cougar Cafe or whatever when you were polite or you did good in school. Do you guys remember this?
I totally
go
remember
up in there
that.
with Mrs. Fahey.
Yeah, Mrs. Fahey was cool.
Mine was in Cougar Cafe or something. But that sounds like something else.
Hey kids, come to Cougar Cafe with me.
Yes,
Mrs. Fahey.
Speaking of pedo Pascal.
We should probably start a new site called Cougar Cafe.
Cougar Cafe. I'll check the domain.
Let's make shirts.
There's an audience for that. There's an audience for everything.
What are we gonna do on Cougar Cafe?
Could be like a dating site for old ladies.
It's gonna be Chad's thing. He's gonna be like the host, like The Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Cougar Cafe. I'm your host.
We've brought 20 young studs here.
Well, there's already what's it called, MILF Manor. So
right.
it's kind of already.
Oh yeah, and they're
it's
like fucking each other's moms and stuff.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's the weirdest.
You're a mother lover. We should fuck each other's mothers.
Good boy.
God, Cougar Cafe is taken, and right now
What's on
someone's
there?
parked on it. Nothing. Someone's holding on to it, waiting for.
Someone's had this exact conversation.
Waiting for 4 idiots like us who don't want to buy
It's probably Sean Perry, because he went to Conestoga with you guys, and everything has led up to this moment where he's going to get rich off us buying this fucking
Sean would never do that to us.
domain. He said he's only watching The Last of Us so that they can watch the podcast.
Nice.
Cute.
They said they're checked out.
Me too.
Shout out to Sean Perry.
I think we all are. I'll be glad when the show's over. I want to do like a classic movie or something.
Yeah, we have people watching that don't watch the show too. I think it's cool. Nikki and Chris watch The Last of Us episodes that we do, and
But they don't watch
the show.
podcast.
They watch podcasts regardless.
I think it's cool that people are watching The Last of Us, but not the podcast.
It's really cool. We have a lot of people who watch the show, but not our podcast. We can't even get mom to watch it.
What I was saying about the aquarium scene, yeah, it played out a little differently, but I thought the show did a really good job at the point of the scene, which it shows how far she's come and how dark her road has gotten. Because once she kills Mel, who's pregnant, it's this big moment of, wow, like this is really no longer worth it. And it just shows how like fucked up this revenge plot has gotten. And it's kind of like Ellie's in a way accepting that this is the end of the road for her. And they show it at the theater where she's like now willing to go back to Jackson, even though she didn't get her revenge. And she's like, this has gone too far.
Yeah, I just didn't feel that as much as I could have. Even when I think she was telling Dina or someone, she was like, I made Nora talk, and it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Made her talk.
I thought that could be a cool moment, but it's not portraying or translating the way that I think they want it to.
I think they want that to be a line where everyone's talking about later, like it gives them chills, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, when she said that, I was like, oh.
They want it to be, I am the one who knocks.
Yeah.
But then they do the same thing that they've been doing the whole series, where she goes, I made them talk. Also, did I tell you everything Joel did at the hospital? Have we gone through this yet? And she then goes through and tells the whole story that we keep getting told over and over again.
They just exposition dump everything. They have to like remind us and tell us exactly what everyone did and what they're thinking and doing.
And the way she delivers lines, I just can't. I don't believe any of it.
So after the aquarium, they make their way back to the theater. This is where Ellie and Jesse have some time together. And I thought in the show, one of the things they did better in the game is give Jesse more like screen time and more character building. So by the time he does get killed, you feel a lot more.
Oh shit, there's something in my throat. I had forgot. Like I said, I'm detached from the game now, and it's making it, I don't want to say more enjoyable because this is a steamy pile of shit, but the Jesse scene of him being shot surprised me. I forgot about that. I was like, oh shit, that dude just got laid out.
I knew that was going to happen, and I knew they were setting it up for this episode because when they were walking earlier, he was talking about how he wants, like, the importance of him being alive because he's going to be a dad, and he's like, I really need to stay alive. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're going to kill him this episode.
Like a Boozer.
Accidentally.
Her eyes are glowing.
Oh my god.
Terrifying.
This is what I live with.
You got like a demented owl living in your apartment.
When Chad had COVID, I was like, is Boozer taking care of you? He was like, no.
She's mad that I'm not taking care of her.
Chad's been busy, and Boozer took a shit at his entryway the other day.
She did. She left a big, long, like solid,
welcome
one
home.
Singular cat turd right at the front door, right when I walk in.
That'll teach you. Not be there for Boozer.
I don't know. It's made it more enjoyable for me to watch it, like having forgot the games.
I looked away for a second because Puppy Jane was doing something, and then when I looked back, Jesse was dead. And I was like,
oh, you missed the good part.
I'm still.
What happened?
I know we already talked about it, but that whole beach scene was like a fever dream. I'm like, wait, she's here now? No, she's not. What the fuck happened?
Was it more of a fever dream than Minecraft?
It felt a lot like Minecraft. Like it was
I just
very...
like it when you call things a fever dream.
She's like, well, that was crazy. Anyway.
Barely an inconvenience.
Oopsie. Wrong beach.
Big gulps, huh? Well,
see you later.
See you later.
Old people may be slow and dangerous behind the wheel. Still can't serve a purpose.
Just real quick.
What?
I just want to talk about Isaac and why was he so concerned about Abby and why is she the one that's supposed to lead? Like, I don't know why we're supposed to know any of that. The things that the show shows us versus tells us is confusing.
It's the zombie apocalypse. There's only female leaders.
They're going to give that to us in the next season, or hopefully like her relationship with Isaac, because what we've seen of Isaac, he's pretty bad guy, and Abby killing Joel was like out of the norm. Like that was her, like her on her revenge quest. That's not her day to day. I can't see Abby as being as ruthless as Isaac and just torturing the scars. So we'll have to see what they do with her character in season 2.
But we can't attack the scars. Yeah, we can't attack the scars yet because Abby's not here. When you have like a whole stadium full of soldiers, like what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm all for female empowerment, but I just don't understand how these babyface Powerpuff Girls keep getting trusted to be in charge of everything.
It's I totally agree, and it's you got to think about if it was really the apocalypse, how like brutal the world would be, and
no one would care about your identity politics there.
Men would just run rampant, and it would be horrible for people.
Would just be about who was the most qualified. It wouldn't be about bringing it. I feel like all these people are being brought up under an apprenticeship so they can learn how to lead. Like nobody's going to care about showing you the ropes that much and giving you chances to ruin people's lives by I'm going to put you on patrol for a birthday present. That is not going to happen.
The stadium looked like a big old pile of CGI.
No, it looked like Mr. Beast games.
When he walks away and you see like the shit down there, it's like, ugh. That was done on Unreal Engine.
I was excited to see the stadium though, like, and I think
Yeah, it was cool to see it, but it still looked like shit.
Yeah, I think what it's doing is it's setting up the users for what to expect in the next season by showing Abby's perspective now, and it says Seattle day one.
God,
like it,
big reveal.
Kind of lets us now talk about how the structure of season 3 is going to be.
It's going to be.
It's going to show the same 3 days in Seattle, but from Abby's perspective.
I'm surprised how much they've talked about that in like interviews or after the show stuff, where they're like, so the whole next season is going to focus on Abby. It's like, do you really want to be telling everyone that? Like, don't you want to reveal let them wonder what's going to be next by setting that up, but not just telling everyone like, no, it's going to be Abby.
I don't watch the after show.
Don't care about letting us wonder things because they're just assuming that so many people have played the game and we already know what happens.
I think it's partly that, and I think it's partly they're maybe worried and just want people to know what they're doing. Yeah, what they want. They want people. Worried. They want to justify their actions and just set people up for what to expect.
Yeah, I don't watch the after show because I don't care to hear what Neil Cuckman has to say about anything.
It was pretty interesting playing the game and having it switch to Abby, and then being like, oh, I'm playing as Abby now. This is an interesting flashback, and it's like
it just
full
keeps
season's
going.
worth of content. Like you're playing as Abby.
You replay the game as Abby, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and honestly, I am pretty excited for season 3. Like regardless of all of our opinions of this season, like season 3 is from Abby's perspective. Abby has some of the best set pieces and like some of the coolest moments in the game and the funnest moments to play. So
Good thing it's all
excited
CGI.
to see how they do it.
I don't know. They got a lot of splaining to do, in my
There
opinion.
will be a lot of CGI. It'll be less Belly though.
Belly?
Mm-hmm. So we switched her name.
Belly.
You weren't here.
Yeah, you were sleeping.
I sleep for a little bit longer than normal, and suddenly I lose all the plot points.
Longer. Okay, we normally do it at 8, and you're like, can we do it at 9? And you show
I think you
up
show
at
up
like
at 9:45.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's a power move.
It's not working the way you want it to if you think it's a power move. It's very youngest sibling of you.
So she shoots Jesse. They're in there confronting. Tommy shot on the floor. She shoots at Ellie. It goes black.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Seattle, day
That's
one.
about it.
The big reveal.
I don't even really remember what happens there in the game after that.
It cuts. You start
Don't
playing as Abby.
spoil it.
Linearly, what happens right after that?
I'm pretty sure it just you wake up as Abby in the stadium.
That's not what I mean.
Basically, without spoilers, now is their time in the show to try to win people over to Abby because you hate her now. She killed Joel, so now you got to see from her perspective. And as you're playing, you're like, I don't want to play as Abby. Fuck Abby. And they have this time to make you try to care about Abby.
But I don't even care enough to hate her.
Allie,
I want to know why the Girl Scouts keep getting to be in charge of everything when it doesn't make any sense. So hopefully they explain that, but I don't even care enough about the story to hate Abby.
at this point in the game, Allie, you would really, really enjoy because you're Abby and you're in the stadium and you get to explore the whole stadium and you go down onto the field and there's a cop dog down there.
No.
And you can sit there and play with it. You can throw balls and it'll run and get them and bring them back to you. And you can just play with this dog as long as you want.
It's probably really well trained, obedient, cute.
I sat there for like 30 minutes playing with the dog in this game.
I probably would too.
Yeah, so takeaway, I think if you like are even somewhat enjoying the show, you should play the game. Because a lot of like the little stuff that Justin's talking about, like there's so many like times where you're just like in the world and you really feel invested in the place and the characters, and you get more time to sit with them, and also being like more involved with like the gunplay and the shooting. It's just more.
If I put it on
like,
easy mode, does it take away some of like the side exploration, or does it just make it easier for me to kill mushroom monsters?
Makes it
you
easier
can basically do what Ellie Dina and Jesse do in these episodes. You can kind of wander around and be as loud as you want and like
Play
not
drums.
care about. Yeah, you cannot care about walkers and other people.
The thing that sucks about easy mode on the games is it doesn't just make the zombies easier to kill, it does take away zombies too. So some like big gameplay parts feel less significant. In the first one, when you're in the high school and you're fighting that bloater in that basketball court, on that level I had to switch to easy. I couldn't finish that fucking level. It was pissing me off. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm switching to easy. And I'm pretty sure the bloater was gone and a bunch of the other zombies were gone.
I don't think the bloater was, but maybe like the side zombies were. But I think it's a viable way to play the game. A lot of games do that now where there's like a story mode where it lets you just proceed through the game pretty easily without like too much problems. And even if like you're not like digging the gunplay, what Brittany and I did when we played was like she would do a lot of the exploration part, and then when it came to shooty bang bang, I would take the controller, and you and Steve would definitely do good at that since Steve plays
Well,
shooters.
if he would stop going on tour, I'm sure we could, but he's not. He's going to be gone like the whole summertime, so...
That's how Chelsea and I play the Harry Potter game. She wanders about the castle doing Harry Potter stuff, and then when these little punk-ass kids want to fight, I take
big,
control.
scary spiders.
I haven't seen any spiders. I haven't even got a broom yet.
That's embarrassing.
Is there anything else we need to talk about with The Last of Us?
Well, it's the end.
We need to put a stamp on it or no.
Yep.
There's not going to be another episode for like 2 or 3 years, so...
That's insane that we're going to wait 2 years just to see what Abby's up to.
And the podcast is going to be so huge by then,
yeah,
we might not even talk about it.
Mm-hmm. We'll have more viewers than that show.
Yeah.
At least 100 something for sure.
I hate this show, to be honest.
Harry.
This one?
No. The Last of Us.
This show?
Yeah, so what would you rate it, Total Dog Shit? Is this the first official Total Dog Shit from Justin?
I mean, I've been calling everything Total Dog Shit, and you guys are like, no.
He has
gotta
been.
be fair.
Yeah, flashback.
Can I rate it Total Dog Shit? For real? Maybe.
I'm going to say no, it's not total dog shit, but I don't really care about it at all. So, like, if it is dog shit, fine, but just, it's not in here, so whatever.
Yeah, I feel like...
No, it's like you're walking down the street, you see somebody else step in dog shit, you're like, oh, that's
Sucks they gotta pick
inconvenient,
that
but
up.
that's not my problem.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of any redeeming value in this show.
There's some.
There's a little bit. Give the people what they want. They want zombies. What all these zombie shows just have to be like, it's not the zombies that are the monsters. It's the people.
I feel like it's that, and the writing's kind of bad.
Yeah, I could go for some more of this creepy crying clicker.
Mm-hmm.
And
in the game,
the progression of people going from not infected to infected. My brain broke there for a second.
The game is a lot of character stuff, but it is also creepy and kind of a horror game.
You remember in what's the Carl one?
Walking Dead?
Yeah, when What's Her Bucket saw her daughter as a zombie.
2.
Yeah, give me stuff like that. That's why I guess I kind of did want Eugene to see his wife, because I need more. We're not seeing enough people we care about get infected. I don't feel like that's realistic.
Yeah, infections don't seem to be much of a thing. It's more human trauma.
And you guys were right. The air spores are probably gone. They're just
gone.
Vaped them once.
Oh, but they did bring back Isaac's little fuckboy buddy.
Yeah, they sure did. But also, I don't care.
The little squirrely guy?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He came into the parking garage. He's like, we're going to get you, little scar guy.
Yeah.
Isaac said.
Isaac chose me because I was a good one, and then he destroyed me.
Yeah, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that like some of these like smaller characters that they're creating are going to have more screen time in season 2. Like some of the changes that they've made in this season that I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. What the fuck happened to the horse? They thought of it. The horse is alive. It's chewing grass somewhere. They mentioned it.
That's just the writers letting us know.
They just explained it to you. They just told it to you. By the way, a horse is fine in case
horse
you're
is
one.
fine in case you're making memes about it out there. Don't worry.
We saw some rumbling online. Horse is
The writers got on Reddit and they were like reading the comments like, fuck the horse.
People are worried about Shimmer.
Get the vocal booth ready. Get the ADR ready. We need a line.
It's Chad with his phone saying flashback. They just grabbed their iPhone. By the way, Shimmer's in a building somewhere.
It's Splice in the scene from Christmas Vacation. Dad, did you bring an axe? Bong. So, what happened to Shimmer? Bong.
So, not total dog shit.
Why?
No.
Why is it not?
It could be.
Why is it not total dog shit? Let's hear it.
It could be. I just don't think we should waste ink on it. Like, if we're gonna stamp it,
Yeah.
I don't care enough to use
We
our
have
ink.
a lot of ink.
I don't care if
The
it's
tub's
total dog
full. I'm
shit.
looking at it right now.
we haven't used it yet.
I know.
I think like 70% of my criticisms are comparing it to the game. Like I don't think that's a fair enough reason to give it total dog shit, because I do think they're doing a decent job at translating the story to screen, while the pacing is a little off and some things feel rushed while other things feel slow, and I don't think it's bad.
Wow. Sounds like you've spent a little bit too much time on the Oregon coast in isolation. You've lost track
Were
of
you
what's
late
good.
because you were out camping?
Yeah, you're out trying to get a reset. Somebody told Justin to touch grass and he took it way too far, and then he came back and he's like, I just have a different, can we call it original story instead of the game?
Hell yeah.
I think what makes it seem worse than perhaps it is that this has so much money behind it. HBO is supposed to be prestigious television. It's supposed to be like heightened good TV. And so when you're pretending to be that and you're more like mid-level, just above Walking Dead, then it's like that's what makes it seem more like total dog shit. It's what it's pretending to be and what people are trying to tell you it is versus what they've actually made.
I don't think it's even just above Walking Dead.
All right,
It's above Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead is good at some parts.
Well, the first season.
You can't say
one,
the first season was good and then have it rest on that for the rest
Season
of
1's
it.
good.
Like,
Season 4 is good. Season 5 is good. The season when
Yeah,
Rick
how many
had the big
seasons
old
are
beard.
there?
Oh, there's like 13 seasons. But
Right.
when Rick had the big beard and they were outside Terminus and he was like biting people on the neck, that shit was dope. And
well,
he was,
Justin, what's
he was stealing cop
opinion of
cars
Game
and
of
running
Thrones?
people over. Fuck Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
It
half
has-
of that was good.
More than half of it was
Yeah,
good.
you guys were raving about it at first.
Yeah, it was my favorite thing to ever be presented on TV.
Okay, so is this better or worse than Game of Thrones?
The Last of Us?
Yeah.
You know the thing we're talking about?
It might be better than Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Yeah, case in point.
We got there. Okay, well.
Yeah, it's a pile of shit. You guys are wrong.
I think I might have to go like scene by scene to give it the TDS stamp.
Yeah. This part's dog shit. This
We
part's
have a stack of paper. It's like approved. Dog shit. Approved.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like we have to go moment by moment because there's definite evidence of dog shit here.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, the scene with the lightning behind the Ferris wheel, that's cool. Wait, she's on the island?
Not cool.
That whole part, and then I accidentally fucking watched a little bit of the making of it afterwards. I was like getting ready for bed, and it started playing, and I'm like watching it, and she's in that studio on the boat, like in the water, and there's a blue screen. I'm like, yeah, that's why it looks like shit.
Mm-hmm.
It looked so
But it's also
bad.
cool to see like all like they built a tank and they had all these like rigs and everything on the water. Like
Just film it in a fucking lake.
a lot of effort went into the show, and I think you can definitely see it in the sets. And I don't know, it's not total dog shit to me.
I won't miss it.
I'm relieved that it's over.
Yeah, like when The Sopranos was over, and I'm like, no, I want more Sopranos or Schitt's Creek. I want more Schitt's Creek. This, I'm like, well, we're gonna have to watch this again. Aren't
I'm
we?
like, what's the next thing?
I thought you didn't like the Sopranos ending.
I said I don't know how I feel about it. Doesn't mean I'm happy that the show is over. I miss everybody.
I don't miss anybody in The Last of Us. Pedro Pascal, nope. I love Zaddy though.
Pedro is Zaddy.
I know. I love him, but I don't miss him in the show, or I don't care. I'm happy they wrote him out. I'm happy they wrote him out because it can let him move on to bigger and better things. Because I want to see him do some cool shit. Like
Yeah, we have to watch The
Fantastic Four.
Materialist. It's the rom-com that he's in.
Are you gonna go see the Fantastic Four?
No, I don't care about that.
He's the flame guy.
I don't care.
No, he's not. He's a stretch guy.
Oh, they're gonna have him stretch out that zaddy dick.
Not even Zaddy McDaddy can make me care about another superhero movie.
Why don't superhero movies ever go there when there's somebody who can stretch? Like, give the audience what they want. We want to see if
the boys
dick can stretch.
I think the boys did that.
That's a series. Why doesn't Marvel actually do it?
Because they'd be ripping off the boys, and it's Marvel.
Is that what the people want? That's what people. That's why people don't like superhero movies, because they don't know the limitations of the stretch capabilities.
It's an important question. And like Superman, when Superman fucks, it's got to be crazy, right? Like, he's Superman.
Well, he is faster than a speeding train, so I don't know. Might be too quick.
It's the Ass Pounder 5000.
He's like, oh, sorry.
Well, I think that's a good spot to end it on.
These are the hard-hitting questions that people want to know. Give the people the answers they deserve.
How does Superman fuck?
That's how I consume media.
Tune in
that's the name
when
of the episode.
we review the new Superman movie.
Don't make me go see that.
He's got to bring. He's got to bring
not on the calendar.
kryptonite to slow himself down.
How is that not on the calendar? It's a big
Did you bring
release.
the kryptonite?
Because you guys have just as much capability to add stuff to the calendar as I do. You guys don't respect the calendar.
James Gunn, Superman, CGI dogs.
People are stoked about the dog.
I know. It looks like shit.
And isn't it like a doodle or something?
It's from the comics.
I think it looks too CGI for me. I don't know.
I don't want to watch superhero movies. I do not care.
Just get a dog. Who cares if it doesn't do exactly what you want it to do on screen?
Yeah, but CGI is king.
Yeah.
Soon AI will be king. You seen that new AI that they released that can do full news stories and full-on production,
AI
like
is
commercial
terrifying.
productions?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
We're done for.
Absolutely.
Well,
I might have a little bit of
Justin in the podcast when he sleeps in.
Hey, now we're talking.
Yeah.
We're gonna need it.
That the AI
We're
me.
gonna need another Justin.
The AI me will have
need another Timmy.
a bigger vocabulary.
All right. Well,
Harry's got you covered there. We just need you to show up.
So we all agree The Last of Us is total dog shit. Specifically Harry. He hates it more than any of us.
Play the game.
We probably won't listen to
that's what
you,
you should
but
do
we
next.
respect your opinion.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.